Good morning, everybody. Daniel Allison, the average dude. It's September the 11th, 2025. My name's Daniel Allison, the average dude, along with Freddie at Bobcat.
9/11, 24 years later, Danny. Is that right?
24 years later, September the 11th, 9/11. We're never going to hear that date and not think about anything other than September 11th.
Yeah. Good morning, Russ. Way to get in here, baby.
Let's see what we got. Russ Hammond, good morning. We love to have passengers on the energy bus. We call this the energy bus into the day because it's a wide variety of folks, as you will see here in our comments, including all the way from Antarctica. I love saying that. Good morning, Antarctic Mike. 24 years. It does seem like yesterday. So my question for Fred Blanton, me and you we went to school for a short period of time together. Then we didn't see each other for a long time, and we got to be friends here later in life. Where were you on 2001, Fred Blanton?
Well, the reason why we went to school for a short period of time together is because I finally graduated from the short bus school, and they sent me to regular high school. You remember that?
And the truth comes out. The truth comes out. I said, tell me what it's like in the regular class, Fred.
I was working at a place called Ferguson Enterprise down on Quarry Road off of Union Street. I was selling plumbing supplies.
Let's go.
I was selling big porcelain thrones, son.
Woo! Commercial or residential?
Whatever. Hey, we sold it
Yes.
both. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I remember I was outside pulling an order, and one of the guys walked out from the counter and said, America just got attacked. And I was like, what does that even mean? Like the bombed and then he went through the explanation. Then we went in there and huddled around the TV and it happened again. It was wild.
It was wild. It was wild. I can remember I'd love to hear where Antarctic Mike and Russ Hammond were and anybody else that might be listening. I was working in Spartanburg. I worked for a lakefront land development company up at Lake Adger is where I was working.
Man, Lake Adger, you're big time. Yeah.
And I remember we were getting ready to have our sales meeting. And as we were going into the sales meeting, a lady yelled in there and she said, the plane has hit the World Trade Center. That's how the meeting started. So, somebody walks into a room and they said, a plane has hit. And so as we were starting the meeting, I can remember the boss man saying, well, that sounds weird, doesn't it? Like what in the world would why would a plane hit the World Trade? So that was going on. A few minutes later, she comes back in. Another plane has hit the other tower, and we ended the meeting. It was like the day ended. The day ended when that happened, didn't it? Yeah. I mean, because we went straight to the TVs. Let's see what was happening with Russ Hammond. I was living in Las Vegas. I had just opened a Lowe's store a few months earlier. Oh, wow. I didn't know that Russ lived in Las Vegas. See, I love getting to know folks better. Wow. So he was managing a Lowe's in Las Vegas. That's 24 years ago. Good morning, gentlemen. Paul Papp would love to know where he was high school. Dang, I'm old. I was three years into my first job back in 2001. I was working for an aerospace company. Due to the economy turned down after that, the company I worked for filed for bankruptcy. Interesting, Gary. You're not too much older.
No.
But no. Here's Joe. We pray for the soul of Charlie Kirk, as I did. I said part of Rosary for his soul and family. Also remembering 90101. Absolutely. And we're going to tie both of those things together. Big events happen in our lives, and everybody remembers where we were on 9/11. And yesterday, no matter what your political affiliation is, you're going to remember because we had someone that was in the public eye that was popular, that was taken out in a very a very horrific way in the public eye. And so it's going to be something that's going to be talked about and something that's going to be remembered for a long time. Thoughts about that, Fred Blanton?
Well, Charlie Kirk had an amazing following of humans because his message for him was truth. And, one of his main deals was when you stop communicating with each other, no matter how you feel, bad things happen. So Charlie believed in what he believed in politically, spiritually, but he gave everybody else a voice on a college campus. He didn't shut anybody down. He invited you for your speech and your thoughts. And it's sad that we've gotten to a point where that takes somebody to the point of terror, because that is what America should be. We can discuss thoughts, feelings without violence. It should not be that way.
Without violence. And when it gets to violence, like we had yesterday, when we get to the violence like we had on 9/11, and we start thinking about this right here, ordinary people, extraordinary courage. At the end of the day, what Charlie Kirk, whether you agree with him or not, to get out and to say what your truth is, how you see things, you're going to face ridicule. As we talk a lot about, you can't, the world, not everybody's going to like you. For one person to be right, somebody else is going to be wrong. And so we get a lot of that going on. But at the end of the day, both the folks that were involved with the 9/11 situation and what happened yesterday, the thing that keeps popping up into my mind is courage. What else is on your mind, Fred?
Well, he was full of courage. He knew, there was always a risk doing what he did, but it was important to him to make himself available to hear others' opinions and thoughts, to be able to talk about it.
Absolutely. And I think that it's an important thing to be able to have those conversations, to speak our truth, as we've said before, and to do it in a calm way. Ultimately, he was great at what he did because he was able to stay level-headed in the way that he communicated. He was a great communicator. He understood and was able to communicate his perspective in a very effective way. And that's why he had a following. Yeah. And when we're able to do that, when we're able to express our views, we're going to have some people that like us, some people that don't. And then the ones that follow us it's sickening. Honestly, this is a sickening situation because we don't know how this is going to play out. And I hope that things play out for the best. But what else do you have to say about that? Anything come to mind?
It's just, if you look back through history, people that they have a big message, a message that is resonating with an extraordinary amount of people, things have went bad for them.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like you say, it's going to take courage. You're going to be facing a lot of ridicule. The stronger the message is, the more that you're going to face, the more dramatic that line is, because it's always there. You're always going to have some people that agree, some people that disagree. So it's always there. And he found it. I do want to talk about something that I've been saying for a long time. And I did see your comment here, Joe, and I appreciate that so much. Joe sent me a book, and the name of that book is Let's Roll. And that comes from Todd Beamer, who was 32 years old. He was basically the same age as Charlie Kirk. Todd Beamer was 32 years old. He worked for Oracle Corporation, and he was on Flight 93. He was a sales dude. And he was a great basketball player, great baseball player, was the team captain. Him and his wife had just gone to Italy and had a great vacation because he was doing so well at work. He waited a day later, Fred, before he went to San Francisco for a one-day business trip. He waited 1 day to spend another day with his pregnant wife, also had 2 kids. that morning, got on flight 93. The plane was on the tarmac a few hours earlier, so there was a delay. Otherwise, all those planes would have been in the air at the same time. That was the original plan. Because of that, they knew that their plane was likely headed for disaster and was headed for an American target. So here he is. He's on a plane. He knows they're going down. He knows that it's a suicide mission at this point, and he knows if they don't do something that's what's going to happen. That we're all at risk. He gets everybody on board and forms a team and comes up with a game plan, and that's why his last words are you ready? Talking to the other people around him, are you ready? Let's roll. And when I hear that message, I mean, to me, that's courage. To me, that is, we've got something to do. This is a life and death situation, and all these things. Hey, we're not trying to win a basketball game. We're trying to win lives, but it's all the same, isn't it?
Yeah. You need courage multiple times a day.
Multiple times a day. That's exactly right. And so when I say let's roll, it's me thinking about, hey, just like those folks were talking about, man, we're in a plane. There's all these things are happening. We know what we have to do. We know how this is going to go. The anticipation, the fear is just, and so we have to have some type of battle cry is the way that I look at it. Hey, we know what we have to do. We have to keep moving.
Yeah.
With this Charlie Kirk situation, a lot of people are devastated, but we've got to keep doing. We've got to do our show. We've got to get our mind right. We got to make our call. Did I lose you? Yeah, let's see what Joe has to say. Evil works on our emotions. Good works on loving each other. Charlie Kirk opened the doors with open dialogue. If you want to lift yourself up, lift up someone else. My heart is broken today, and only Jesus can heal me and us. Glad you enjoyed the book and it meant something, Daniel. Absolutely. Thank you for the book, Joe. And that's what's great about connecting with people. Those who attempt to silence others through violence achieve the opposite effect. Rather than suppressing the message, such actions amplify it, as the violence itself draws greater attention to both the message and the messenger. Great point. Let's see what Mike says here. Without violence is a must have unless your life is threatened. Absolutely. It's tough to see, and it just seems like there's more and more out there. Paul Pappy, he was at Sunfast, our first location in Anderson, South Carolina, 24 years ago. So he's been in the business for a long time. What else is in your mind about all this, Fred, this morning? It's been a different type situation.
It is. And, with the anniversary of 9/11, the assassination yesterday, we still have to spend positive energy into our world today. And it may be more difficult than yesterday, but it's still something that you will have to muster up to have a successful day. You can't get caught up in TV, social media, because we all know it will affect us, especially today, in a negative way.
Absolutely. That's an excellent point. That's what this show is about every single day, no matter what happens the day before. To win the day and to make the right decisions that we need to make is to win the day today. I keep clipping out, don't I? I've got a bad connection, and I hate that. Let's go Thursday. I've been wondering where this gentleman right here was, Fred Blanton. You see him?
He's been working on a big job proposal.
I like that. He is. He's out there making money. I love to hear that. Hey, thanks so much. Great to see everybody on the bus today. I'm going to give Fred the final thought, and we're going to go out here and do our thing.
Well, when times are tough, still be passionate about what you believe in. Stand up, stand firm.
Be passionate, and remember, let's roll. See you tomorrow. Woo!